Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Usha.
Let's start episode 131 of Ask Vidas and Usha podcast. And today's question was sent by Aleksey. And he wants to know how to play the pedals without looking at your feet. So this is a challenging situation for a lot of organists, isn't it, Usha?
Yes, it is.
Do you sometimes look at the feet when you play?
Sure, when I'm trying a familiar organ, when I have to look at the pedal first. And there are sometimes tricky spots where I also have to check the pedal.
Me too. From time to time, especially when I improvise, I need to look down because I'm not always sure which notes I'll be playing in a second or so. And when playing repertoire, especially on unfamiliar organ, the feel of the pedal board is not very easy to memorize. And therefore, some looking is okay, right?
Yes, some looking is okay. It's not good if you know you cannot play pedal at all without looking at it on the same organ. If you are, let's say, practicing on your organ every day and after practicing for a year you still have to look at it when it's not good.
True. I think one of the most important things here to do for organists is simply to apply pedal preparation.
Yes, that's a good idea, it's very helpful.
For quite some time, maybe for a few months. And then you get used to the feel of the pedal board and you no longer need to worry about it. But at first you have to have a breakthrough.
Yes.
So, how do you do pedal preparation, Usha?
Well, no, because there are very few pieces that you use, pedal all the time without any rests. Usually you have some pedaling part and then you have some rests. So during those rests you need to know exactly what is coming up next.
And in the pedals?
Yes, in the pedals, and prepare in advance.
So, for example, if the passage was ended with your right foot and the next passage starts with the right foot also, you need to slide your foot to the next key, right?
That's right?
Right away.
Or let's say there are sometimes episodes that, finishes on the same note and then it will begin on the same note. So don't move your leg in that way, you will save time and energy and you for sure will hit the right note.
A lot of times people do the opposite. They finished an episode with the pedals and they place their feet on the I don't know, maybe some place next to the swell box or on the swell box.
Or behind, like bench.
Exactly.
That's what I do often. I put my right foot on the swell box and left on the organ bench, a little bit, behind it.
Because it's more convenient this way.
Sure.
How to do this without putting your feet on the place to rest, but slide into the next note position on the pedal board? Is there a trick you could use that successfully and comfortably? Do you know?
Well, yes, you just keep, your foot above pedal board. That's possible.
What about sitting on the bench? Does it help if you sit, for example, too deep or in the middle or next to the edge of the bench?
Well,
for you?
If you will sit, at the edge of a bench, you might fall down on the pedal. That's not a good way, and also not a good way to sit, too deep back on the organ bench. You have to sit somewhere in the middle of it.
You remember, we usually practice on two organs here at home and at Vilnius University St. John's Church. But the height of the bench is different on each instrument, right?
Yes.
Which is lower?
At home, of course.
At home. Which is more convenient for you, Osha? Higher or lower?
Well, that's a good question. It depends on which manual I'm playing on. Because, for example, at church it's more comfortable for me when I'm playing on the first or the second manual, but it's uncomfortable to play on the third manual and pedal at the same time because the bench is quite high.
Exactly. Then the third manual becomes too far away from you.
Yes, and when it's just difficult, it gets difficult after practicing for some time.
Oh, but what I mean is, I discovered that I also play more comfortably at St. John's Church when I sit higher and closer to the edge, not on the very edge, but just enough to keep me balanced. But then my feet are also free to do what they want, and they can slide into position without getting me into trouble. And then I can basically focus my look on my fingers or the music rack, but not necessarily on the feet.
Yes, I think that position gives you more mobility.
And if it's opposite, if you sit too deep on the bench, then what happens?
Well, you cannot move comfortably. It will take for you too much time.
Then you need to use more of your core muscles.
I know, and you need to have really long legs in order to reach, let's say, very far away on the right side pedals, or very deep on the left side.
So I guess a good advice for people would be to experiment with the bench height and position of your body on the bench and see if you can find a comfortable way to shift your body when you need to move on the pedal board, and then maybe you don't even have to look so much.
Yes. And sometimes try to play pedal part alone and see if you have trouble too, and you have to watch at the pedal board. But if you are, quite comfortable with your pedaling part, but you still are watching when you're playing with hands, maybe, it means that not something is wrong with your pedaling, but something is wrong with your coordination.
In your experience, Osha, when you work with students, let's say, in our Undamaris studio from time to time, do you notice that people like to play pedals alone, or they want to play everything together more often?
Well, mostly we want to play everything together.
Right away?
Yes.
Even though the problem might be just to separate the parts and relearn them.
Sure.
Alone. Do you think there is a reason why they choose to play everything at once?
Well, I think it gives more satisfaction, to hear the full harmony, whole piece.
You have to sort of postpone your gratification.
Yes, that's right.
Until you can do this comfortably, both hands and pedals together. And people nowadays have trouble delaying gratification. They want to have results right away. Right, Osha?
Yes.
Are you one of those people?
Well, yes and no. Of course I am. I want to have immediate gratification, but I also understand that things never happens at once. You have to work in order, to get to your goal.
Do you have to force yourself to work precisely and according to your plan, and not to give in and not to give up ahead of time?
Well, of course, yes. I think everybody does.
I see. But it's worth it, right?
Yes, it's worth it. And, it's worth it when you see the final result. It motivates you, to do the next piece right, to learn it in the right manner.
Whenever I catch myself playing with mistakes, even on the pedals, or pedals alone, or all the parts together, I think I need to slow down considerably, right? Whenever I force myself to slow down, mistakes disappear, and I can play more comfortably and more relaxed. Do you have the same experience also?
Yes, I have the same experience.
So the tempo might fluctuate in the same piece.
Sure.
Because some places are more difficult than others.
Definitely.
Is that okay or not?
Well, it
good?
shouldn't be like this. I mean, you can give yourself some flexibility, but no, not too much.
I think it's okay as long as you're conscious of your tempo fluctuations, right?
Yes.
That it's a process of practicing, and you know this is a difficult spot and you need to slow down, right? You consciously slow down, not because your legs or fingers need to slow down, but your mind says, I have to slow down because that's how I will avoid mistakes.
Yes, that's right.
And
I do that sometimes, unconsciously.
And then when you're ready, you can pick up the
Yes.
tempo normally. Good. Do you hope that people can apply this in their practice too?
Well, I hope so. We should definitely try.
Great. Please, guys, send us more of your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.